What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LayerZero in this video, ZRO. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 21st day of September today, and we have about 3 hours and 4 minutes left in this day, in this week. It is Sunday. This is my first video talking about LayerZero. I'm sure that I've talked about it on some live streams, but I've never made a dedicated video to this crypto before. And I was actually looking up Stellar Lumens here. I was just going through and I saw Stellar announced that at Meridian 2025, their event that they just had in Rio de Janeiro, that LayerZero Labs is coming to Stellar. True omni-chain development, build once, deploy across 143 blockchains. I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me just hear what these guys have to say. And I'm going to actually play what this guy's saying right here. I think he's the CEO of LayerZero, or he's one of the lead guys in development. Anyways, I'm gonna pause myself, mute myself, and play him. Okay.
My name is Simon Baxis. I am the VP of Global Business at LayerZero, and we're here in Rio for Meridian 25. LayerZero is the market-leading interoperability provider for cross-chain connectivity. We connect 142 different blockchains today and account for roughly 82% of all cross-chain industry volume, powering.
All right, so that was enough to get me interested. I'm like 82%. 82%. They're responsible for the majority, not just the most. They're not the ones that do the most of it, but they're responsible for the majority of the cross-chain volume that takes place across the whole damn ecosystem in crypto. I had to look it up to be sure. I had to look it up. Now, do they see the most cross-chain transactions? No, but the most cross-chain volume, yes. And if they're seeing the most volume, that means that they have to be the most affordable when it comes to sending things or swapping things cross-chain or doing transactions cross-chain. No bridges, no friction, just native interoperability. Look into it more if you want to look into LayerZero. You know, we've got this stuff here. You can scroll down, click on white paper website, read that there. I'm not here to give you the full fundamentals. We're going to break down the price action here in a second, but I had to ask Grok. I was like, what project is responsible for the most cross-chain volume, dollar-wise, in the crypto space? LayerZero. LayerZero is, absolutely. Then Wormhole, then Circle CCTP, then Thorchain, then Axelar. We look at LayerZero. Let's look up Thorchain. It's Thorchain is Rune, right? Rune is worth, okay, 442 million. It's about the same market cap as LayerZero. Feels like LayerZero might be underrepresented there. If we're looking at it here, what about Axelar? Isn't Axelar, is Axelar a lot of, let's see, Axelar, yeah, 338 million. It's pretty similar in market cap, but a little bit less. Wormhole, doesn't Wormhole have a bigger market cap? Wormhole, 543. It has a slightly higher market cap, yet LayerZero does dramatically more in volume in a 30-day period, let alone cumulatively, let alone collectively, but 30-day period. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Something feels like it's misrepresented, and it's the price action. The price action feels like it's misrepresented. It should be a hell of a lot higher. Being at a $495 million market cap, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, that's not a low market cap, but it's low enough where some magic can really happen still, right? This thing does have the potential to see a 100x by the end of the cycle. You could see a $50 billion market cap by the end of the cycle. Does that mean that it will get there? No. I mean, you could go to 60, you could go to 70, maybe you stop at 20, but you've got a lot of growth potential with this kind of coin. And I really do encourage anybody and everybody, before you invest, if you are thinking of investing, look at the white paper, read the website, or check out the, let me reverse that. Check out the website, read the white paper, and make sure that it's the right choice for you. Okay. With that being said, I love the fact that this thing came out at a high valuation here at $7.55, and it dropped all the way down. It dropped 80%, and we're able to scoop it up at the floor. I love that. I love that. I love seeing them come out to these events, staying relevant in the crypto space. ZRO Labs, just so you're aware, this one is not the one that you want to follow because they don't have any posts at all. If it would let me, I don't know why it's frozen. There we go. But it's LayerZero Core. Okay, these are the ones that you want. This is the one that you want to follow right here. Maybe they had an issue with their x.com. Somebody got a hold of the web of their credentials and they weren't allowed to post. I don't know what it is, but if you want to keep up with them, you can. I very much do believe that we have dramatically higher prices to go with this thing, and that's the main reason why I'm talking about it. Is it might not be the lowest cap gem that we talk about, but it's still, I think, an interesting gem, and it might be undervalued. Having that capability of cross chain, it's not even cross chain, is it? It is cross chain interoperability, but it's not. They don't use bridging. I actually still need to do some reading on this, on how it is that they do this stuff, but they do it in a more cost-effective way, clearly, than anybody else in the space, which is pretty awesome. If we're looking at this here at $2, I would assume that the next target area that it will accomplish would be something, whenever it does see new all-time highs, would be something between about $11.76 to $20. Now that's anything and everything from about a 5.8x move to about a 10x move. Okay, I would expect that when alt season kicks off, when everything starts running up, we see this thing take shape probably by the end of October, that we would be up in this area. The primary target is on the 1272 to the 1618. By the end of the year, you could be somewhere at the 1618 or higher. Very, very crazy valuations here. I would think by the end of the cycle, it's very possible they could see a multi-$100 price. Now, anything and everything from $105 to $235 is very possible. This is your 2618, 3113. This is kind of the money zone here. This is the I wouldn't say the limits of what you can do, but this is typically whenever you have any kind of fib. I don't care if it's the all-time high to the all-time low like we have drawn here, or if it's on a 1 hour time frame, a 4 hour time frame, whatever. Typically, when you interact with this zone, you do find some turbulence. And to get up there in the first place, you're going to see some massive growth. Getting to $100 from here is a 50x, which is no cakewalk, that's for sure. Even $100, even a 50x is still like 2.5 times what I expect the average altcoin is going to do by the end of the cycle. So there's a lot of promise here, you guys. And I would expect that by the end of the cycle, ZRO is worth anything from $100 to $235, right? That's the expectation. Now, by the end of October, again, this next phase, you should be somewhere in here. I think by the end of the year, you should be somewhere in here. And then going into the end of the cycle, we should be building to those $100 and beyond valuations there. If we're looking at this on a weekly time frame, the weekly RSI has bounced off the oversold zone. You're slowly building up here, encroaching the 50, looking like you want to cross up and move higher. The stochastics are building and looking bullish. The MACD looks bullish as well. We look at the daily time frame. MACD crossing above the zero is beautiful. The stochastics are wrestling here, but that's okay. I don't know what to make of it. It's not a bad thing. You're just rejecting the overbought zone, but you're not rejecting. It's like your rejection is not rejecting. The daily RSI does have a bit of an uptrend with these higher lows. You do have higher highs, I suppose, but higher lows, higher highs, you kind of have this trajectory right here. I would think that we move up higher. Yeah, you look good. You look pretty good. What you've done, I think, I want to come back out to the weekly time frame here. What you've done is you've just sold off a good bit, probably after having some massive listings. Let's see. ZRO. Yeah, listed on Bybit maybe. That's a pretty big exchange. Kraken. Binance too. Oh, I've got ZROL. My bad. ZRO. That's how, if you want the all-time history, you type in L. Anyway, ZRO listed on Binance, Coinbase. Yeah, very large exchanges. You probably got listed and then you dropped because of that. It's very common for the average crypto to drop 60 to 75%, let alone 80%. So you did that. You're finding your low here. I don't think you're going lower. I think you have a double bottom and you're going to rip to the upside. And that's really all I have to say. So I don't have anything else that I want to add there. I think I've covered enough as far as price action goes. If you're wondering where the next target areas are, if you want to kind of follow the path higher, I'd say we probably go to $4 first, find some turbulence there, like 335, 276. You'll find support, continue to rally. Once you get above 627, that's when it's time. Once you get above 620, let's say 628, once you get above here, that's when it's time to really consider 1176 to $20.65. Okay, that's all I got. I don't have anything else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yes, I did spend the extra time to make it look like a hat. Subscribe, hit the like button. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.